So
You're now live.
all right.
It's official.
Good morning, all. And we are here, and I guess the first thing we want to do is approve the agenda. So would somebody please make that motion so that we can get that approved and done? All right, Jeremy and Tom. Thank you. Anybody have any problems with that?
No, but can I just, one question? Can we add to the agenda an update to the Village Green?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll put that under new business.
Yes, okay.
All right, we'll put that under new business. And actually, we've probably got now 3 things for new business. We've got the update on the meeting from Village Green. I just talked to Terry Vachon about something, so I'm going to fill that in. And then there's one other thing, question mark beside the words book sale. So that'll all be there. All right, any disclosure of disqualifying interest? Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Would anybody like to make a motion that we approve the previous minutes, please?
Sure.
Debbie, and seconder, please. Jeremy, all in favor? And we're good to go. Now, business arising from the minutes. It's rental rates and amendments. Debbie, are we amending rental rates?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure what that's about.
I'm not either. Does anybody Kayla, do you know why that's on the agenda?
Yep, I believe last month you guys discussed amending the rental rate agreement, updating it and removing, or sorry, not removing the little pen written piece, but actually adding it to the actual document. And then we would come back and review the entire document and approve that as amended. Does that ring a bell at all?
Debbie, does that ring a bell with you or anybody?
Yeah, I remember talking about the raising of the, and we had a little bit of a list of changes.
It's the contract, I believe. Yeah. I want to take out the buck and doe line because we agreed that we would have them. So I want to take that out of the contract, and I'm in the process of typing up a new one and tying it all into a spreadsheet.
So then we have to see the contract before we can approve it?
Yep.
Yep, so I can add that to the next agenda if you'd like.
Please.
Thank you. All right, and then next up is security cameras, because I know that we're going to require, I think we're going to require new security cameras. Basically, where do the security cameras normally point other than in the entryway? And there's also security cameras in that little hallway before you go into the washrooms, right?
Yeah, and then the back door one's focused there. And one
and
was,
we need new ones, don't we?
well, I was just going through the list and then one was facing the old location of the fountain.
Yes.
And then one was broken. So yeah, that's what, plus the whole system is down now because looks like the central, the computer that was running it is broken. And so we brought that up. If we'll talk about it later, I guess, but Per had suggested his interest. I know he'd looked at them, but is that correct then, Per? Would you be interested in taking that on?
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. And you've seen the situation exactly as it is today, Jeremy. It is like the other equipment that we've just replaced on the electrical panel at Dinosaur. And like you said, Linda, some of the cameras are not working, and those that are working are ancient cameras. And you can see the wiring hanging all over the roof, very unsightly. It should be dismantled even if we do nothing and just taken down to clean up the building facade itself. So yeah, Jeremy was successful in discussing in the meeting between the village and ourselves, maybe some co-arrangement whereby they will absorb part of the cost for whatever that will be in order to have their fountain guarded, so to speak. So we're looking into that, and I've contacted 2 companies so far, and I've not yet been able to secure a date for them to meet at the station, but that's coming up shortly.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Per. And I know the other thing that the Village Green people figure they want to have, they want people, you know, something on the stage, so like, you know, that they can focus on the stage and the fountain. I think those were the 2 areas. And then we would put the cameras where we require them, you know, for our building as well. And then decide on the share of the costs, whatever that may be. But yeah, they did seem to be agreeable to it, but I'm not 100%
Well,
confident.
we all heard the words that they would contribute to the
Yeah,
operational cost, maintenance cost, and installation, so.
I know, but are those words recorded anywhere?
Just,
No.
just in my noggin here,
Yeah, but,
and my
Yeah.
piece of paper.
Well, we
Whether they
can,
do or not, doesn't matter.
we
can
have to have the security cameras for our area, period. So we have to do that much. And Perry, you're already on to it. And the only thing we have to do is when we're getting to the point of the security cameras, we can contact the Village Green Board and say, hey, we're going to do this. If you want cameras located for you as well, and this will be, you know, and then find out what the cost is, and are you
Well, I
gonna
think
do it
that-
or not?
I think that was what we all agreed to, that Per was going to look into the prices.
Yeah,
Per, maybe you should do it just for the station alone and
mhm.
price including the stage and the fountain, so that we do have both, and then talk to the Village Green and see where we go from there.
I think that would be the way to go personally. But Perry, you're looking into it, so we're gonna leave you with the heavy lifting.
not a problem. Thank you for your help.
It'll be in good hands.
Thank you. Financial report, Brian.
So there is money in the bank. Good news is that the council approved our request for them to fund the Huronia alarm stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're supposed to be letting me know when that goes into our account, and they have not told me anything yet. And I was hoping Barry would be at the meeting, so he might know what's happening. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to, I guess, follow up and ask. But as it stands right now, our current bank balance, and this is a calculation based on what I know the end of February, plus expenses, or any expenses or money going in since then. So our current bank balance is around $1,631.40. And that does not include the money that we're supposed to be getting from the township. So we're nicely in the black. And as long as we continue to get more rentals, I think we'll be fine going forward. I had to ask again yesterday for the February bank statement, and I got it late afternoon. I thought they were going to send it as soon as they got it, but I'm still having to request it. So I don't know whether that can be followed up or not, Kayla. I don't know. It kind of hamstrings us, and I'm not able to go online and look at the bank statement anymore, so I can't keep, currently accurate as to where we stand. But we're approximately $1,600 in the account, so I think we're fine. Now, one other piece of news. I received an email from Rogers yesterday that we could get lower rates on our current account with Rogers at the station. The email kind of looked like a scam to me because I found a spelling error. grammar mistake, actually. So I phoned Rogers to see whether this was in fact legit. And the person I spoke to said, yes, it is legit. So basically I said, sign us up. Our internet, currently we're paying $132.99 a month plus HST. The new rate for 3 years is $129.99. It's not a big savings, but the telephone, which we're currently paying $67.99 a month, is now $14.25 a month plus HST.
Wow.
So saving approximately $64.12 a month, including HST, on the Rogers bill. So hopefully the phone thing continues past 1 year. Maybe we'll get another deal, I don't know. But at any rate, did reduce our expenses there by about $64 a month. So that was, I thought, good news for the day.
Yes, sir.
Especially when I thought the email originally was a scam. And there's going to be a technician coming on Monday between 11 and 2. And if someone could be at the station to let them in, Debbie, would it be possible for you to?
It is.
All
Can we
right.
get that time narrowed a little bit? Like, I
Well,
guess, well,
They usually.
yeah, you're
phone-
gonna be in there a bit anyway, right?
I'll be
Are they-
there anyway, because in the morning, Purple Hill is going to be there, and in the afternoon, we're going to be setting up. So I'll be there.
Okay, because they usually phone, and if I get a closer time, I can let you know, but it said the window right now is between 11 and 2 on the 21st, which is Monday, so.
Good news.
Any questions?
No, thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Welcome.
Now we're going into rental update. Debbie, got anything here for us?
For February, I sent the sheet in, and we had the winter market, the church, Jambé, Rachel Stevenson, who does a dance group, the Central Canada Fan Club canceled because that was the day all the roads were closed and they couldn't get here. We had a shower for Maddie Lemon, and altogether it totaled $433.12. And then the church paid us $1,800 and change. So our total income from the rentals was $2,287.18 for February. In March, we pretty much doubled that, because aside from the payment in February, the rentals were $433.12. In March, we've got $828.68. And there's a couple added to it that I haven't included on here, Purple Hills being one of them. And Jim Slattery has rented it to raise funds for the Ukrainians. So those two rentals will be in here. So we pretty much doubled March over February. And in April, I have some showers coming. There's a wedding, there's a buck and doe. In June, the Hort Society, another wedding. But I haven't tallied it yet because there's going to be a lot more incoming for April. It's too early for that. So rentals are looking good, and I'm booking ahead like crazy. I've got inquiries for October, November, December. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
Debbie, thank you very much. Now, the one thing I want to mention, though, we're going to lose the church. And I don't know if
Linda.
pardon?
Clayton hasn't called as
He
of
hasn't
yet.
called you yet. It's funny because I bumped into Clayton and he told me that he's going to be operating out of the church, did I say? Was it the Anglican one? I can't remember. And he said he was going to do that. So far, I guess, obviously, I told him that he had to call Debbie and get this organized, but we might be losing the church unless for some reason they make another decision. But I imagine that, you know, we were in public, we were in the supermarket, so I didn't get to talk to him a great deal to find out the whys and what's going on. And so hopefully, like, I know when Debbie talks, when he calls Debbie, then I think she's going to just get the, you know, why, you know, what's going on. But I think partly it's a financial situation for them. I think they're going to be able to use this other church for less than what they can use the station for, would be my bet. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens after as we go on.
When I do talk to him, I want to ask this today. When I do talk to him, do you want me to offer him, you know, to meet the Anglican Church? If it's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just let him go, or do you want me to try and negotiate with him, or whatever?
Negotiate.
Okay, I will.
Can't hurt.
And does anybody else have any comment on that, by the way, before we decide?
I think Debbie is right in finding out the reason why they're leaving.
Definitely that.
To nail down if the fact is that it's a financial decision for them, then we could then ask them, would they prefer to stay at the station versus going with the Anglicans, so to speak? Then maybe we could work out a deal. Ask them.
Is everyone in agreement with that?
And
Tom?
I would agree.
I thought they had a contract. Did they not have a yearly contract?
We do, but it expires March 31st.
Brian?
Did he say they're using the Anglican Church? Are they using the actual church, or are they using the church hall?
From what I understand, the actual church, but they're just going to operate at different times on the Sunday. So at least that's what he said to me.
I'm wondering whether if they're able to use the church, then they don't have to do any setup or takedown, and that might be part of why they're wanting to go there. But I think Debbie should find out and negotiate if she can.
Absolutely. Any other comments, questions? Jeremy?
Yeah, this I think you summed it up, Tom and Per and Brian there. But so this is on another topic that you just raised there, Debbie. The fundraiser for Ukraine. I wondered if is that something we can consider giving a little relief on the rental?
My daughter and I are going to pay the rental, and that's going to be our contribution towards it.
Say it again, sorry.
My daughter and I are going to pay the rental, and that's our donation to him.
What part of the station is Jim planning on using? All of it?
He just wants one room, but he isn't sure of the turnout he's going to have, and it's on a day that I can leave it all open. So if he does get more than what he expects, he's got a book from a friend of his written on a mill that the Russians burned. And this gentleman was 6 months old, and it was his family mill. And he wrote this book about it, and they're getting the books and they're going to be selling them for whatever, and then just taking any donations that want to come in. So he asked me how much the station would be, and I told him my daughter and I would look after that we want to contribute too, and that's how we're going to contribute.
Or we could donate the station for free for that event, for that part of the day. I know it's a Saturday and it's after the market, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
then your donation could be buying a book.
Well, I was gonna do that too.
And anyway, I know, but, you know,
Yeah.
I also, what does anybody else think? Pear?
You know, driving into Creemore the other day, past the metal place, I noticed the Ukrainian flag flying off the hydro poles on both sides of the road coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like some kind of official flag placement. And if that's the stance that the township people are taking, I would be in agreement to let the event in support of Ukraine go without payment. And I'm sure that Debbie, they would still be more than happy to accept your donation.
Oh, I know, but my feeling at the time was, yes, he shouldn't have to pay, but if word gets around for that, then we're gonna get a lot of calls about a lot of organizations that, you know, want it for free. And I was thinking in my head, I want to avoid that because.
Debbie, if they have an ongoing war, we will listen to them as well.
Oh, I agree.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the reason for us doing.
Jeremy, did you have a comment?
No, I think that's a good position to take on a one by one case, and I think this one warrants the consideration for no charge, and then look at the others as they occur.
Okay.
We could, somebody would have to make a motion, second it, and then we'd have to vote if we're going to give this, if we're going to do it rent-free for this. Jeremy is making a motion. Is there a seconder, please? Pear, and all in favor? Carried. Thank you. This is great.
What day is the event, just so I can add it to the motion?
Just a second, because I haven't.
Yep, I can read the motion while you look for that, Debbie, if you'd
Okay.
like to hear it. Be it resolved that the Creemore Station on the Green Board hereby waive the rental fee for the Ukrainian fundraiser event on Saturday, well, whatever the date is.
Kayla, it's April 2nd.
Okay.
I haven't.
And
checked
And we've
my
already approved it, Kayla.
Yep. I've got Jeremy and Pear.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Very good.
Maybe there should also be some mention of the noble donation that Debbie thought to give.
No.
We'll all have to go and buy books, though. I know I saw Jim. He was showing me this the other day.
Yeah, I already put in my orders, so.
Do you want to pass a motion directing Debbie to negotiate with the church group to maintain the long-term rental?
Would somebody like to make that motion, or should we get that formal on this right now? What do you think? I guess.
I'll make that motion.
And how
All
low
right.
do you want me to go?
I'll second it.
All right, but Debbie just had a question. How low should she go?
I think you can go for it's an interim period. I think it's probably like if you offered it for three months, does that help? Or 6 months? I don't know.
Yes, how low in price do you want me to go? They pay 142 a week now.
Yeah, okay. So what I was going to say was for a period of time, whatever that time is, give them like half of that or something, maybe $80 or something. $100, I don't know.
Okay.
Anybody?
We'd have to make a motion to the amount then as well.
Yeah.
My suggestion is to direct Debbie to negotiate and kind of find out the base reason and move from there. Once she comes back with that final number decision, I think then you would, as a board, make a decision on whether to accept it.
And you know something, I think the idea might be a good idea, because in case Clayton doesn't get to Debbie prior to our next meeting, would it be inappropriate to suggest that, I gave Debbie this information, and so possibly you could actually contact Clayton rather than waiting for him to contact you, because I'm just worried that it would be, it would start to happen after the April meeting, and then we'd be in trouble.
I'm going to call him today. I was just waiting for this meeting to find out if he wanted me to negotiate or not. So when I called him, I have all my ammunition ready.
Okay, and so we're saying that you can negotiate as low as a certain amount of money. Is that all right? Questions, comments, Tom?
I think you should go as low as necessary.
Okay,
And anything is better than nothing. And, I don't know if they have much wear and tear on the station or not, but even if it's half of $9,000 or whatever it is, that's still money for us.
Brian, you had your hand up.
I think if we're going to ask Debbie to negotiate, we have to empower her to make the decision, because our next board meeting won't be till the third week of April, and their contract runs out the end of March. So they're going to want to, if they decide to stay with us, they've got to know that that's firm. And so I think we need to give Debbie the power to make the decision on the amount. And we can say that, we won't go less than 50% or some percentage that we decide upon, but we should give her the power to do the negotiating and sign off on it.
Here,
In order for Debbie to properly negotiate, she will need to know what the conditions are with the church that are being offered to them, and use that as a starting point. You can't expect Debbie to just guess a number out of the air. Find out what they're being offered elsewhere. Then we can compete from that.
except we're not going to probably have another meeting when it's time to compete. That's the problem.
Well, it won't be a problem, because Debbie will be speaking with the gentleman, and she can ask him directly, what are you offered at the Anglican church, so that we may be able to beat it in order to keep your business.
Basically, I'm gonna find out why he's going, if they gave him a better offer, and I'll go from there. Because if he's going because he's not gonna have to move equipment, not have to set up, not have to take it down, then we can't compete with that. But if it's because of price, or they're getting it for free, or whatever, we can stand a chance then.
Well, but before she negotiates, don't we at least have to set a lower price limit, Jeremy?
No, yeah, so, no, this is to do with whatever that, I think Brian said, Debbie can figure that out, or half of that, or what is that, 180, did you say?
142.
Yeah, so 50%, anybody else? But the point is, well, plus or minus percentage, like that's the discretion I think Debbie needs to have. But there's also the second question is the term, right? Because he'll say, well, is that for the new year? Or is that, and I guess that's what we're saying. Eh? So it's like it's the new contract rate.
I think their contracts have typically gone for 3 or 4 months, January, February, March, for 3 months. So we would do it for 3 months, and then, but again, that'll depend on how he feels. And
yeah, okay. All right, that's good then.
And then is everybody agreeable that basically we will, so we're like, what I'm hearing is you don't want to set a limit on price. Basically, we want to leave it in Debbie's hands to decide. Is that am I hearing it that way? Because either way, don't we need I keep thinking we still need a motion, unless I'm wrong.
Well, you've delegated authority to Debbie to negotiate.
So we don't have to put any any barriers or anything up? Like, in other words, we don't have to move anything, no motion.
No, I believe you already have one.
Okay, then we're good. Thank you.
Good luck, Debbie.
Thank you. I'll do my
Have
best.
fun. Marketing and advertising comes up next.
I do have something for that. I didn't know that Patty was doing marketing and advertising, but I would like her to get into the Collingwood Facebook page, the New Lowell Facebook page, the Angus Facebook page, Stainer Facebook page about the station, just saying available for rentals. She'll know how to word it, but your wedding event, Buck and Doe, whatever, meeting space. And if she puts that on all the local Facebook pages, that's going to cover a lot of advertising for free.
Go for it.
Yes,
Yeah, what do we do now? Like, again, Patty's not here. So
So how do
what
I?
do we do? How do we deal with this? Kayla?
Send her an email, Linda, to say that's what we're asking her to do.
All right, well, we can do that. And you're saying, yeah, Debbie, would you send me an email and just write just all of those Facebook pages
Sure.
that you listed? And then I will then say that we would appreciate it if, as a marketing person, she would put an advertisement. Basically, it's an advertisement on all Facebook pages, read the station on the green and its availability for rental.
All right. I was going to do it, but I didn't want to step. I found out the last meeting that she's actually doing that. So I didn't want to step on toes. So I figured this is the way to go.
So let her do that. All right.
Yep.
So you send me the information I need and then I will contact Patty.
All right.
Okay, does that work for you?
It works.
All right, thank you. Anything else on marketing and advertising?
No, that was it.
And the next thing, of course, is fundraising. And as we all know, we got all the information. Debbie has lots of plans or thoughts for that.
Okay, I want to start out with Station Cafe. Everything's good to go. Barb and Natalie and Linda and whoever else wants to come is welcome to come, but we're going to set up Monday afternoon. Linda, I'll let you know a time because the Purple Hills wants to be there in the morning. And I'm not sure what time. They said early afternoon. That's another question. Okay. And I worked out a deal with some bakers from the market. I'm giving them, I think it was 80%. Some of them want 90. I'm paying them and then they're taking a discount so that we can charge the same price at the cafe. So we'll be making a 10 to 20% profit on all the goods that we sell of theirs. And I'm not getting too many, like I'm just going to have a dozen and a half things until we know how this goes. The word I'm hearing, well, Trina did a really nice article in a paper for us and she put it in the community events and I'm hearing from everybody. I'm getting phone calls, emails. People are walking up to me on the street. Like, I think this is going to be a big success. But again, the first Monday, I expect more, and then it'll dwindle down to your regulars, but whatever. And there's going to be a Scrabble game and a backgammon game and decks of cards, and they can, and I'm not opposed to staying open till 12. If it is a success, like if we don't have anything in there on Tuesday mornings and people want to come in and play Scrabble, whatever, and drink coffee, that's fine. But it's hard to know if we're going to make money, how much we're going to make, but I know we will cover the rental of the station for that time frame. So I think it'll be very successful. But we'll see.
That's very good. Too bad you didn't open it up today. You could have served Irish coffee.
Yeah, I know, Rick. I'm drinking enough of that on my own. My husband's Irish.
No, that is great. I love this idea. So hopefully we can all go to the first one on on Tuesday. That'd be great.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And now, do you have any other things that you wanted? I know you've got these proposals for, oh, yes, Tom.
I was just wondering if there's any COVID protocols that have to be dealt with.
The masks are gone the 21st. There's no proof of vaccine anymore. So yeah, they're pretty much gone. But I will still be wiping down and, you know, taking care of stuff like that. But yeah. So it's opening at a good time. I wished I had thought of it sooner when we were literally shut down and opening up again before, yeah, but whatever, we thought of it now.
That's gonna be great. Thank you,
I
Deb.
think I love that idea, yeah.
And I'm just going to operate it from March until the end of April or into May, because then everybody, the farmers are all, you know, busy then, and the people are looking after their gardens and stuff, maybe till the end of May, but then we'll close it down for the summer. And if it is a success in that couple of months, then we'll open it up again for the winter. If that's all agreeable to you guys.
Well, let's see how it goes and what the people who come say, because again, like even on a lovely day in the, you know, in the middle of summer, like there really is still on a Tuesday, there's nowhere for anybody to go other than, we know that the Bank Cafe will have all of their tables outside.
Yeah.
That, you know, so there you go.
But on
So
Monday,
that might be-
Tuesday, they're
yeah.
still going to be closed. But I figured
Yeah.
for the summer, people are cottaging, they're whatever. But
Yeah,
we
and
can
again,
find that.
yeah, and as you say, Tuesday, yeah, it's still closed, so.
Yeah. All right. Then we've got, and I have these gentlemen penciled in on their calendars so that we can get them on these dates if everybody approves. The Murder Tastefully Executed Dinner Theater, September 17th, from approximately 6:30 till 9:30. From 6:30 till 7, we do cocktails. And what these gentlemen do, or these actors do, they greet everybody at the door through the cocktail part, and they give them a name tag, which will be the name that they go by for the night. People can dress up for this event to suit the theme, or they can just come as they are, whatever. 7 p.m. dinner will be happening. The bar will be open throughout the evening. And they go around the tables, they sit at the tables, and they, you know, I don't know if any of you have been to a murder dinner theater before, but somebody will get killed in the bathrooms through cocktail hour. And then the dinner is spent, you know, working up solutions, working up who did it, that kind of thing. And the actors distribute themselves amongst the tables to get every table involved. And then through dessert, they divide people, the tables, into different groups where they will work out, each group will work out their final solution and through dessert. And then at the end of the evening, they present the winning group with a basket with a bottle of Niagara wine and some homemade chocolate from one of the companies there, that type of thing. So it's a very fun evening. The bar will cover itself and probably profit. They always do. But the food is going to be the determinant factor for the price of the ticket. Right now, at $65 a ticket times 150 people, that's $9,750. Our expenses are, depending on the final food, are $67.50, and that's based at $40 a head. I have quotes between $40 and $85. So we can decide on that when La Cucina gets his prices into me. I don't have them yet. I've got Chez Michel. Yeah, so that would be about $3,000 revenue, again, depending on the price of the ticket, but that's, I think, a pretty good revenue, plus the revenue from the bar. So we're probably looking around the $4,000 mark for one evening. So as long as you're all in favor of that, I will, oh, I'm sorry. The cost of the group is $1,200. Because it's a small halls festival, we'll only pay $600. The township pays the other $600. They pay half of the entertainment. So, and they will give me, I had a meeting with Amanda and Lily to totally understand what they offer. And there's signs, neon signs or something that they put out on the letter signs that they put out on the in front of the station. And it says what's coming, the time it's coming, the whole bit. Tickets will go on sale mid-July. And again, for that, for 2 weeks, we would have a pre-sale, so $10 off the ticket, but the township eats that $10. We would still get the full price of the ticket. They do all the advertising, the marketing, it's on the radio station, you know, the entire thing, which is really good advertising for us for all year round, honestly. And because they absorb half the entertainment, I think it's a really good idea. So it's up to you guys. If
I'd
you
say,
want-
Comments? Tom, you
Yep.
had your hand up.
kudos to you, Debbie. That's fantastic, I think.
Any more comment? Brian?
Yes, I echo what Tom said. Kudos to Debbie. Debbie, I think this is a really great idea, and I think it would be a fun evening for a lot of people. If the township's picking up half the cost, why don't we try and get Elton John?
Yeah,
Okay. Any more comments?
actually, he'd probably be willing to appear given his age and how many people really want him anymore.
Never know.
You never know.
So any more comments on this? So I'm assuming, again, we have to make a motion that we have Debbie go ahead and firm up this, the dinner, the murder, tastefully executed dinner theater. So I'm assuming we have to do that. So who would like to make a motion on this one? Okay, Brian, seconder. Jeremy, all in favor? And carried. The next one, Debbie, that you have suggested.
Dan Needles. Now I started out just with him and he was $1,200. When Amanda told me that the township picks up half the cost, and she was the one who said it, why don't you get Ian Bell too? Because you're still only going to be paying $1,200. For the two of them, it was $3,000. So $1,500. All right, for the two of them, it's $3,000. The township picks up $1,500. So we'll still be only paying $1,500 for two of them as opposed to one. The township will buy a wireless mic for the station for these events. They, again, do the signage, the advertising, the marketing. And one thing they showed me was like a bell, and you people have probably seen it before. It's a small halls bell, and it's like an old town hall bell. And we thought they could bring it down for the dinner theater, especially because you could ring it to announce dinner, whatever. But they do all the signage and everything. Again, it's on the radio. And the same thing for the pre-sales. We could go $10 cheaper. She suggested starting the advertising and the ticket sales for both of them at the same time because they're like October and September. So this one would be October 15th. And for this one, I don't know if we would leave the bar open throughout the night. I don't know how his shows usually work. But I was thinking through the cocktail hour, and then you could have some kind of appetizer. He suggested a half-hour intermission through which we could serve little desserts or something, and we could open up the bar after the show and let people just leave slowly and put desserts out or something to entice them to the bar, whatever, to socialize after the show. But that's up to you guys. That's a question I want to ask. Nancy will do like a meat and cheese tray, appetizer for the cocktail hour, a meat and cheese tray for the intermission, along with a few desserts. And, you know, we would just use that for after the show too. She would charge roughly, her high end, she told me, would be $1,000, but it would probably go a little lower. The Creemore Bakery, I keep wanting to say affairs, but the Creemore Bakery will do for about $300 to $500, depending on if we want sweet and savory or just sweet. So again, the ticket sales would be, I don't know if I put that, but we would, sorry, I'm just back from Ottawa late last night, so I'm kind of, okay. I figured at $30, we could seat, Amanda and I figured we could seat 175 people in the station, but I'm literally going to have to go in there and set up chairs to figure out just how many we could seat. So I would like some volunteers for that too.
Well, that's part of our job. So I'm hoping that we're all able to volunteer and bring as many people as we want. But my question is this: what is the maximum capacity of the station?
220 people,
Okay,
150 for a sit-down meal.
sit-down meal. That's where the 150 comes in, but 175 would work because we're not doing a sit-down meal.
That's right. It would be just chairs. So we figure about 175 to comfortably sit.
All right, and if we have 175 chairs.
I hope we do, but we'll figure that. That's something we have to figure.
But again, like this is going to need, this is an all hands on deck event as well, as what you're saying, Debbie.
Well,
We all, you know, we're the volunteers for the board. And so this is going to be one of our jobs. If, you know, like put it on our calendars and realize that we're going to have to help with the setup.
Yeah.
yeah, we will have to, I will need help with the setup, but beforehand, before we decide how many tickets, I'm going to need some people in there to help me set up chairs to figure out exactly how many chairs we have and exactly, you know, if we can seat 175 people in there for a show.
Now, would he be on the stage?
No, he doesn't want a stage. He just wants to use the
little nook area, yeah.
in the middle, and that way he can see both sides of that room and into the straight ahead into the two smaller rooms.
So basically what we need from you with this is a date that you would like us to come for a practice setup. Like, are we all on board? Or, you know, I mean, if we get a date where we're available, are you willing to come and help?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, I haven't looked ahead at dates yet because I wanted to get it approved first, but I will email everybody and we'll come up with a solid date. We can even decide that at the April meeting.
And I guess the next thing we need is, first, are there any questions for Debbie?
Well, hold on. If we sell tickets for that evening, again, if we decide on the appetizers, the meat and cheese tray, whatever, if we sell tickets for $175 or 175 people at $30, that would be $52.50. Minus our expenses would be $37.50. And if we paid for food, we are still looking at $3,000 plus whatever comes from the bar. So I think it's another very profitable night.
Questions and comments, please. Any? And
There,
yes,
well,
Tom?
there have been other, events there that have been sit down. Do we not have any idea how many people were at some of them before COVID?
I wasn't at any of
No,
them.
No, I know you weren't. I know you weren't. I just
And
wondered.
I personally can't remember. I mean, I know there were events there, but
Wouldn't it
I
be a
would-
simple, just count the chairs that we have currently?
Yeah,
but
I can count the chairs, but if we don't have 175, I'm going to get some from Party Happenings or a church or something. I mean, I'm going to look around for more chairs, because if we can seat 175, we want to seat 175.
and yes, Tom?
well, we certainly won't have to set up all the chairs. We could just do, a row this way and a row that way if you wish. And, we would have an idea of how many can sit. You don't have to put all the chairs out to find out if we could sit that many people.
Yeah, you could just multiply it out, yeah.
And we need an aisle or around
Yeah.
the edges or something for people to get down to them.
And then,
Yes.
yeah. Any other questions, comments? Brian?
The evening with Dan Needles, that's not including a dinner. That's just.
Yeah.
No, it's not a dinner. It's just maybe a light appetizer.
And
Type.
dessert.
What time of the day would that take place, Deb?
What,
Time of the day? Is that like a,
6:30,
To 11.
6:30 till 9 would be the cocktail half hour and his show. But then if we wanted to stay open until people, we could make it till 11, we could stay until people just leave. Like, I don't know if people will get up and leave after it, or if they'll go to the bar and have a dessert, or that's what I'm asking you. Have any of you been to a Dan Needles show?
I have, but I just can't, it was so long ago, I can't remember the details. I just know it was great, but
Well, I'll ask him what the typical thing is for
yeah,
his shows and just go along with what he,
Debbie, did you say that they could go and have a dessert, but are there no drinks served?
there will be a bar,
Oh, okay, okay.
but I'm just trying to figure out if we should leave the bar open after the show or open it up again, because I don't think for that show it should be open throughout the evening. But for the cocktail hour, the intermission, and then possibly after the show.
I think you'd find that a lot of people like that the bars, I think there's sort of a new trend that would say drinking and driving, I don't want to be drinking right before I head out. So my sense would be once the show's over, you close it down.
Okay.
That's my sense anyway.
What, Jeremy, I don't mean to be opposing your view, but people should be allowed to make their own determination as to how much they can drink. And if the bar was able to be running, such as I've been to a couple of events at the Gaiety Theater in Collingwood, and they've turned that theater into half a drinking area, responsibly drinking. Let people make their own determination.
Oh, of course. I just thought for the, that's right. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about the profitability here, and I'm not trying to say that over safety, but I'm hoping that people at this stage in time will be able to govern themselves rather than us doing it for them.
Tom, comment?
Oh, well, we'll have to watch the people drinking because we'll be liable
That's
if we
right.
let them drink too much.
I know, and we all have to have, like, anybody who's serving has to have Smart Serve, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that, the township, they give the Stainer Kinsman or Lions Club, one of them, an honorarium, and they provide all the bartenders, so we don't have to worry about that either. They're all
Oh.
certified, and the only thing we will have to do is get the SOP permit. And Brian, I might let you do that because you'll have to pay them for that. I think it's $150 for each night.
Oh,
Okay. Do you know what where do you get an SOP permit?
I do have that note someplace. Brian, I can email you that. I think you basically do it online at IA. It's all initials, IAGC or something, but I can get that to you.
And you're good for this, Brian, to do the, get the permits. Because we'll probably need it for both events, right?
We will. We'll need it for both nights.
Okay, Brian, are you okay with this? Okay, good. Now, again, with this though, we also need to have a motion and a seconder and approval of this event, just like we did the last one. So who would like to move that we go ahead with the event with Dan Needles and Hill? Is anybody making a motion? Jeremy? And seconder? Hare, all in favor? And carried. Thank you very much, Debbie, for all your work. Much
Fantastic.
appreciated.
Problem. I hope to come up with a lot more, but I figured 3 on my plate right now is enough. But for
Yes, that's enough. You're doing enough. Now, is there anything new on the building and landscaping before we get into new business?
No, I don't think so.
Right. All right. We've got some new business and I'll do the fast things first.
Linda, I put the fire extinguisher cover under building and landscaping.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, the fire extinguisher cover in the main entry area, that cover is all cracked and it just falls off. So there's no cover on it. There is a cover on it, but basically it just takes a little bump and it's off.
actually, they're both like that. The one by the doors from the parking lot is broken too.
And I guess, now Kayla, you were telling me though that a cover on a fire extinguisher is not necessary.
I don't believe the cover is necessary, the plastic bubble, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plastic, yeah.
No, I
And,
don't believe it is required. There's many fire extinguishers that actually just hang on the wall on a little clip.
So shall we look into the covers and getting them replaced? And I don't even know how you do it. Maybe going through the fire department? Here?
I'll look after that.
Oh, thank you. Problem solved, Tom?
Well, if we don't need them, why repair them? We're gonna have security cameras if anybody, tries to take them or anything like that.
I guess again, here?
They serve as an aesthetic purpose, so you don't have a bulbous red tank sitting on the wall.
And it may not, I don't even know what it'll cost, but if Pear's gonna look into it and then we'll find out. That good for everybody? Thank you. The other short thing is, I don't know whether it's short or not, it might take a bit, but anyway, Mark Purkis for a number of years, up until all this COVID stuff, there was a book sale run to raise money for the station. And it was run every couple of years. We haven't had it for a while. Marg was talking to me the other day and she said she is willing to do it again if we want. Have any of you helped with the book sale in the past? I know Tom has, Jeremy, Brian. All right, so and to Brian, you might even be able to give us a clue as to what because I think the amount that we earned from it has been decreasing. over time, but I could be wrong there. I seem to remember the last time we did it, we didn't make as much as normal.
I think it's 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, but it is a good money raiser, but it's also a lot of work. Now, Marg is very good at getting all kinds of volunteers. But we would have to be around a great deal. What we have done in the past, if you haven't been involved, is we've used the curling rink when it's empty. And that's where all the sorting is done. And then, of course, the sale is at the station. The pros and cons. The pros are making the money, and it's also good for the community. A lot of people really look forward to the book sale. The cons. We end up with a great, no matter how many times we put in the paper, we only want this kind of book. We don't want anything that we don't want dictionaries. We don't want encyclopedias. We don't want business. We don't want, we just want, fiction, biography, things like that. We end up getting a lot of all right, things that won't sell. What we end up doing is having to, if they're hardcover, tear off all the hardcovers, take things to the dump, and things like this. So it's a lot of work because of people. Basically, they're using us as a place to get rid of stuff that have been in boxes for ages. So we've got pros and cons, but we do make money from it. Marg is willing to run it, but we would all have to be willing to help. Brian?
I just checked our records. The last book sale was in September of 2018, 4 years ago, and we grossed $7,660.60.
That was gross.
That was gross, and expenses are minimal.
Because everything is done with volunteers.
Yes.
And I guess the question is, as I said, it's a lot of work. So you have to be kind of ready to be sort of all hands on deck kind of thing. And Mark does organize. Yes, Tom.
Linda, you're the one that you make sure that nobody brings bad books. You will be there telling them what the heck we're
I will
taking.
never do that again. I won't. I will never do that again. Because when I saw things that somebody was bringing, and I said, I'm sorry, but these just will not sell. Could you please take these away? Well, that did not go well. I will, and I was very polite, by the way. So that is not I won't do that.
I'll do it.
Okay,
Brian?
Debbie.
Brian?
Right.
Again, as I said, we grossed $7,660, but after expenses, we cleared just under $5,000. So I think it's a good fundraiser. It can be a lot of fun because it's a good social time, putting the books together and boxed and so on. And the community, I think, supported it.
The community loves it.
Yeah, so it's something that brings people together, and it makes us money, and it involves everybody pitching in. But I mean, it's not really hard work. And
No,
if
it's
you,
not.
Oh, it's hard work.
you get first
It's hard
chance at
work.
picking off those books.
Brian, I'm curious, you said we grossed just over $7,000, and after expenses, we made almost $5,000. What were the expenses if everything was volunteer?
Let me see here.
The dump.
Well,
The dump.
Creemore Echo ads. A lot of that was display ads. And we bought a couple of dolly carts. I would say the majority of that went to the Creemore Echo. And some smaller expenses. The dolly carts were $40, $10 for pens and pencils. We gave Bill money for hauling stuff to the dump, 5 trips, $55. But the display ads for the Echo was probably over $2,000.
And do we have the dollies still?
We should.
Okay.
It could be in the
Have to ask
store.
Mark. Because Mark is the person who has run it every time it's been run. Mark, like, as you know, Mark Purkis used to be the chairperson of the station board. And so Mark has run it every time it has happened. And as I said, it's also just good relations, like the community really appreciates it. And then anything that's left over, we have taken to either secondhand bookstores, or we have also, and there are leftovers. Sorry, they're not everything gets sold. We also do offer to the library. If they would like, you know, they might come through and see what's left, and they may take what they like. Things like that. Brian?
We had one secondhand bookstore bought a bunch of books from us and
Yeah.
paid us for them. So we're not, we
Yes.
don't give them to them. They actually pay us for those books.
They do, right. So the question is, Jeremy?
Yeah, the question is, do we need another fundraiser? Debbie's just introduced two that will require a certain degree of volunteer time to do setups and whatnot, and so that should, in that situation, yield about $6,000, and that's a 1 year thing. Before we used to do that was before the book sale. Then we amortized that over 2 years, right? So that you treated the income over 2 years. So the question is, there is a lot of work and commitment. I mean, like Bill, there's somebody that has to really be there constantly for, I'm not sure, was that like 4 to 6 weeks or something? Like,
It was a long haul time, and I know that between Bill and Ron did a lot of the back and forth to the dump and things like that, and other people getting involved. Like it is a lot of work. It
it's
is
a
a lot
huge
of work.
commitment. Every morning, like from 9 till noon, in there sorting and
Yeah.
for the period of time. So, and that of course that's not you every day, but it takes somebody there. Like Bill was there every day, and his wife.
Yeah.
Was, yeah. So
I know. I was pretty
So we
well there
need-
every day too during all of that. Yeah, it is a very constant thing. Like that's the thing you have to realize is that if we go with this, we're talking time, a lot of work. And it's, you know, us, all of the volunteers who come, and Mark does have a good list, hopefully bringing in anybody we know. And we had at one time when young people were needing their community hours,
Yeah.
we brought in the kids for that, and they were very good at that. You know, so that sort of thing. But yeah, it goes on for quite a while. It's not a, you know, deliver books one day and the sale is the next. Tom?
Yeah, many hands make light work, and we often have many volunteers. And it's been 4 years, so everybody's ready to read their books over again that they've forgotten.
Debbie?
I think we should do it. We are gonna need, our building is 20 years old, and it's coming up that we're gonna need to do some repairs inside, like tiles are broken, all that kind of thing. We are losing the church at this point, so the 2 fundraisers that I have coming in will be just a little bit over what we lose on the church for a year. So I think any added income we can get, we should take. And I think this book sale is a good opportunity.
Ryan?
That's a good point, Debbie. If we lose Clearview Community Church, they pay us $2,000 a quarter. Isn't that right, Debbie?
For 3 months, it was 1,800.
Yeah, so that's over $7,000 to $8,000 a year that we get for the church. We're losing that from our rental income. And in a good year, when we're fully operating, we make around 30,000 plus in rental income. I think one year we got as high as 33, but we can count on 30,000. We lose 8 of that, we're down to 22. So I think, I agree with Debbie. I think we should go ahead. We need as much money in the bank as we can because there are going to be capital expenses coming up too.
All right, does anybody have any recollection of what time of year we do this? Is there
September.
anything in there that has dates?
September.
Last one was September 2018.
September, okay. Because I was just thinking September, all right, because we're going to be dealing with getting ready for the murder dinner. The murder tastefully executed dinner is also in September 17th. So we have to make sure that we're not in some sort of a conflict with, you know, with time. Like we have to make sure we're working around that very nicely. So that would be one thing that we'd have to look out for.
I think we do that though, because there isn't going to be much work involved in the murders test, in the murders thing. He's coming throughout the summer to show me the best optimal setup for the performance. And it'll be basically that day that we'll be setting it up. And that'll be really the only work that we have to really do. Everything
Okay,
else is going to be done as soon as I book the date.
All right, so then is anybody interested in making a motion that we ask Mark Purkis to run the book sale for us this year, to do a book sale? If she's willing to do it, we just have to ask her. All right, moved by Tom,
I
seconder.
move, yep.
Seconder, Debbie, all in favor? Carrie.
Jeremy.
All right.
Barely got the hand up
I
there.
just want to comment, just one comment, if you'd allow me. At the end of the last one, I clearly recall Linda, I think Brian, I know
Yeah.
Bill.
We said we'd never do this again.
That is the last book sale we're ever going to have. I remember.
I know.
the words. That's-
I know. I remember that vividly, Jeremy, vividly.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. All right,
Well,
I've got one more
Thank you.
fast thing, and then Jeremy is going to take over and tell you about our meeting that we had. But when I was talking to Jeremy one day, and I said, you know, tell me about like the rules about the washrooms. And it kind of came up because of the Village Green. The rules about the washrooms. If somebody has rented the station, they're renting the whole station for a wedding or whatever. They're also technically renting the washrooms. And therefore the washrooms, like, you know, how people can come in from outside, it's not available. I contacted Terry Vachon, and he actually called me this morning. And basically his answer was, it's the board's decision. We can decide which way we want to go. But the thing we have to do is, because you see, it's like those washrooms are, you know, during certain times, they're listed as public washrooms. If we are going to take them away for a period of time because of a wedding or because of a celebration of life or what have you, Terry feels that we're going to have to inform the BIA when the washrooms are not available. And again, we would also have to inform, I would assume, depending on what's going on at the Village Green. I mean, again, we are a little concerned about the back and forth on that and the conflicting of events. But anyway, so I don't know that we have to make, I don't know what we do about this technically. But according to Terry, it's our decision and we can close the washrooms off to the public. And he said, as long as we let the BIA know. And that's as much information as I have for you on this right now. Do we need to look into this further? What do you think we should do? Just do it the way we do it or not? Debbie?
I think, like I have had people who come in to look at the station ask me if the washrooms, they see the doors outside and they want to know if the washrooms are open to the public or not. And my response is to them that when they rent the station, they rent the entire station, and that includes the washrooms. And it's like, okay, then we'll take it, right? Kind of thing. People don't want those washrooms open to the public. I can let the BIA know when there's a booking. And like I said, I'll work with the Village Green and they'll know too. Plain and simple. Like, I don't really see an issue over it. If they're rented, they're rented. And we'll just let whoever needs to know, period.
All right, because I just wanted to clarify with Terry to make sure we were on the right page.
Right.
Because they are sort of technically, they're sort of public washrooms. But anyway, that answers that question.
And honestly, I haven't opened them because with all the COVID regulations and everything, people had to be double vaccinated to come into the building, blah, 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 blah. Well, and you have no control whether there's one person in there or 13 people in there. You just didn't have control over that unless you literally stood outside the door all day and monitored it. So I just didn't open them.
But now that the regulations are loosening,
Yeah,
there we are.
open them again.
Okay. I don't think we need any votes on that. That was just for information, and just any comments there before we turn it over to Jeremy. You're on, Jeremy. Tell us all about the meeting we had.
Okay, thanks, Linda. So, many of you attended anyway. Brian was exception, and it was, I think, a good time to have it. It was obviously our concern about having access to the building without encumbrances. So that was the primary goal that I was hoping to achieve, but we kind of got to a somewhat reasonable conclusion. Having introduced each other's boards, one of their board members wasn't available, and Joan Gordon didn't speak very much about, on their behalf. So, I thought we had a very positive group here together, stating our position, and what it ended up was that they will look into what it'll take to replace a surface for the former stone sidewalk we used to have down to Caroline Street to the front doors. So a hard surface there, and I think we got to push and continue to insist on that. And so we'll follow up with them in a few days to see what answer their project managers come up with. The other question is that area that goes from the parking lot into the front doors. I still see the signpost a pain in the butt with the way it's located, and the more I see it, the more I feel it. It is an impediment to reaching our front door from the parking lot. So at a point, I think I wouldn't even mind saying, guys, let's revisit that sign, move it to the street where it should be. And I think, anyway, apparently built on their project plan, they can't change the sequence of events. So that was, we tried to get some creativity into their plan, but none was available. So it looks like that they're holding fast on not having that available till mid-June or I beg your pardon, end of June or mid-July. So, that takes us through the farmer's market midway through, using the parking lot and with all that mess in the front there, which was a disappointment. So that was the huge thing that I was hoping to get some agreement with, but not so. So that, any questions? Yeah, Tom?
Yeah, I think that we have to make sure that that pathway around the station is in good shape. Since they can't go directly from the parking lot to the front, we have to make sure that area going around will be easily walked.
Yeah, excellent point. And to that point, may I just ask, Kayla, are you there? Yeah, I just want to ask you if, do we have someone that in the township that does like signs and what's the word, the proper terminology for? I forgot the word already. I learned.
Are you talking the wayfinding signs where they
There,
point direction?
yeah, there. What? Say the word again.
Wayfinding.
Okay.
And I would direct you back to Terry at the Recreation Department. I know that Amanda has done a lot, especially with tourism signs as well. I think the tourism signs are a little bit outside the scope of what you're looking for, but she has that background knowledge of
Yeah.
wayfinding and signage. So I would direct you to Terry for that.
Okay, so thank you for, and so Linda, you have a point.
I have a question. You know that sign that is in the way?
Yeah.
It's a BIA sign, right?
That's sort of we
So,
understand.
so the person who, the group that would decide to move it and relocate it, if that's what we want, and I know most of us feel that would be a good idea, we'd have to go directly to the BIA, wouldn't we?
Yes, yes, I
Oh.
would suspect. Yeah, that's what we will be directed to. Yeah.
Yeah, so do we do that? Who is going to do that? Like, do you want to take that one on, or what do we do? Because I think the one person you'd have to talk to is Lori at the, like she's the, woman who owns Lagome. Is she not the chair of the BIA, or is it somebody else now?
Lori Severn.
Yeah, she is. All right, Larry Severin is still the chair of BIA. And that would be the person to talk to and
Okay.
see if they'd be willing to relocate that sign. Because
Yeah.
we didn't even know what was going to be put there.
No, it was a
We were
little
not
dot.
consulted.
It was a dot on the plan that who would have realized what it was, and and the location as it was being put in. I pointed that out, as a matter of fact, that it is a terrible place to put a sign. And in any case, it's a huge mass of concrete that got poured there. And still, so now's the time to do it. And I guess, yeah, I can, it's Lori Severin.
Severn.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, and
I'll-
she's the woman, they own Lagome and, there's, yeah. And then where the former toy store was, it's also theirs. Like they own three places.
Yes. Very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that's that. Tom, did you have another question, point, comment to Tom?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Did you have another comment to this?
Well, I just thought that you were talking about signs that maybe arrows that tell them how to get around the building.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
direction to go.
And that's apparently the word that I learned from Kayla is wayfinding. That's what that is called.
Yeah, go this way.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So, so that's that topic. Any questions? Since most of you were there anyway. No. Okay, good, thanks. And then, so the next one is, I'd just like to comment also on what Debbie had brought up, the point of, ongoing, we can call them snags in the building. So they're like, we need to have the snag list. It's in Debbie's head, I guess, at the moment, but it includes things like the cupboard door in the kitchen where the hinges come off and pulled out. It needs quite a bit of work. And then like these are just little things that need creative repair, but the arborite top in the women's washroom is lifting. And so it needs to be glued down again, but it, you know, it should be really, I guess, taken up and re-glued or whatever. So those are things that, Debbie, did you contact anybody on the hinge, for instance?
Brody DeRuiter is gonna look at it for me. That's what he basically does for a living. So he's gonna look at it for me and he'll probably fix it. If we have to buy a hinge or something, he will charge me for that, but he won't, you know, just gonna look at it and fix it. I did call James, the plumber, the number I was.
Oh, yeah.
And he did come and look at the urinal and he thought they had parts in the shop. And he was going to get back to me on that, but he's coming tomorrow or Monday. They had to order a part in. So he's going to fix that. And as for the countertops and stuff, I haven't done anything, but I'll get Brody to look at it while he's in there because he might just fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Like the simple thing is what I think I had done several years ago. You tape it down around the edges, and that's it's invisible,
Yeah.
and it doesn't lift up. But it's a kind of a chintzy solution to a problem. So those are, thanks for that then, Debbie. So they're well in hand then. That's great. Hope, as you say, there's lots more that go on this list, I guess.
Well, if we don't look at them now, it's just going to get worse. And because it is a 20-year-old building, we are going to, you know, the time is here that things are going to start going.
All right. Okay, great. Thanks then. So those are the only points I wanted to add. Thank you.
Are there any other business questions, anything that we should be looking at? Then, as far as I can see, it looks like it's time to adjourn the meeting and to thank you all for being here. Much appreciated. And Debbie, try to get a good night's sleep.
Oh, I
Or maybe take a midday nap.
had fun with my granddaughter. That's what counts.
All right.
And let us know when you need help for setting up on Monday. You're gonna send it to me and you've got a lot of help, and then whatever else. And this t-shirt thing, thank you for sending me your sizes, and I did send them all on to Lily White, and I guess we're supposed to wear them if we're volunteers at any of these events. I guess it designates us as a volunteer so that people can ask us questions. Would be the only, you know, the only reason. So anything? Because we will be having another meeting next month. All right. Well, again, thank you very much. And thank you, Kayla. Anything you need from us?
Just a motion to adjourn.
All right. Who would like to move that we adjourn, please?
I move that we adjourn.
Oh,
And get out
Tom,
into
and
the-
seconded by Brian, and we're gone.